Hello and welcome to the 2025 UCI Mountain Bike World Championships from here in Valais in Switzerland. This amazing canton playing host to so many disciplines.
Well, the discipline we are here for right now, well, it is cross-country short track. It's the elite women up next. The under-23 women and the under-23 men, well, those races are done and complete. The elite women are heading down to the start line for what is going to be a very exciting World Championship cross-country short track race.
Well, as the iconic Matterhorn starts to appear from behind the clouds, we started the day with pouring rain. We then had sunshine. It came back raining again. The clouds blew in. We are in the heart of the Alps above Zermatt, and it means you get everything being thrown at you, pretty much apart from chocolates at the moment. Not had any yet.
Well, you know, Theodore Toblerone did indeed name the iconic chocolate bar after the Matterhorn. And, you've seen that in 1908. We're not in 1908 anymore, and mountain biking is hitting the trails.
It is indeed, with the latest bikes, latest innovations, making the way to the slopes of Valais, this amazing playground. Whatever type of biking you're into, if you want to ride mountain passes or you want to bring your downhill bike to go take on some of the most iconic trails, the Valais region has it all here in Zermatt. Wow, what a view, what a stunning set of trails to go out on, and what a fantastic place to host the short track. This car-free environment that is in the village and in the surrounding hills means that you have got the place pretty much to yourself on the bike, apart from some crazy climbers going out and climbing the Matterhorn.
Well, anybody you know tried to climb the Matterhorn?
Yeah, my mum.
There you go. A mountaineer?
She was, yeah. She climbed a number of summits back in 1960s, but didn't actually climb the Matterhorn. Came off the mountain because the weather went bad. We're not going to come off the mountain, though. That's why I like mountain biking, because you're not going to come off the mountain when the weather gets bad. You just got to keep on going pretty much on this track.
Well, you are, and in the shadow of the Matterhorn is the track today here in Zermatt. The course heads out from the bowl area. It is 1,300 metres in length, and you can see it runs right the way up, climbing out of the bowl along the single track before we turn and head back down the highway. The steep uphill brings us back into the arena, dropping down the rock garden, 2 lines, final big berm, and then the ramp into the arena, just to really excite those final sprints. Now, 1,300 metres. I walked it earlier on today, had it at 1,100 metres.
Indeed, and I did accuse you earlier of taking a shortcut, and you totally ignored that comment.
Race line.
Race line. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that as given. There's some really key sections here, and this single track section up above the river has been instrumental, because once you get into that, if you can get in there first, you have the possibility of building momentum, but getting in there is key. The drop down the rocks, I've just been out in the break between the under-23 and the elite, and I've been watching a couple of riders on the way down. The speed has picked up from earlier practice, and 1 or 2 riders going down at race pace pretty much sent it full send all the way down there. It was absolutely incredible. Well, who is going to be joining the women's champions so far? Sinifrai taking the very first XCC title in Val di Sole, followed by Pauline Ferrand-Prévot taking 2 titles in a row at Leger and Glasgow in Glentress, in fact, before going across to Evie Richards at Pal Arisol, and that was at altitude. And we are still pretty high here, something Sinifrai is used to. One rider, the Swiss rider, will be looking to take this away. This will make this her second title if she can take a win.
Well, 2 winners previously who could take away second World Championship titles today. Sinifrai being one of them, Evie Richards being the other.
Indeed, and as we see the riders just steadily starting to make sure those warm-ups are on. Jen Jackson looking pretty focused. The Swiss with that little bit of extra pressure on their shoulders. Nicole Colas had a great season. Really enjoyed watching her starting to come to the fore. But would you want to bet against Alessandra Keller?
Swiss rider, home World Championships. Whilst I think the weight of the world may be on some of those Swiss riders' shoulders, it is also such a phenomenally exciting opportunity to race the World Championships here.
And one rider who's been there, seen there, done it, and got the T-shirt, Jenny Risvet's coming into form, taking the last victory in the short track. But we would be remiss not to show and feature an absolute legend of the sport, Yolanda Neff, lining up on the grid. One rider who today has definitely been outputting in the mileage here. Good to see Puck in here with Rebecca Henderson there as well. In there, playing up for the cameras. They've been there, they've done it, they've raised championships, but that title never ever will wear thin, will it? It's something they all want desperately, but happy riders are fast riders and some smiley riders down there.
And the camaraderie amongst the peloton, it is just so fabulous to see after, as well as before the event. The second that gun goes though, the second they are away, it is all competition focused.
It certainly is. Now one rider who's very good at getting that competition focus is the very first cross-country short track champion. That is Sina Fry from Switzerland. Having a good season on the World Cup Series, 10th overall in the XCC Series with 2 fourth places at rounds 1 and round 7, starting that last round, showing that she's going well all season long. Going to be really interested to see how Laura Stiger does today. Multi-time Austrian champion, 9th overall in the World Cup Series, 2 third places, 2 podiums in rounds 1 and 5. Will it be her day? Canada have been featuring strongly. I'm not going to give you any giveaways, but my goodness me, in terms of short track, they're having a good day at the office. The Canadian team, Jen Jackson, will be looking to improve on her 3 fifth places in the World Cup Series, as we see home rider Nicole Koller, 3rd overall in the World Cup, 2nd place in round 2, her best result. She's going to be up against the defending champion from Great Britain, the 2024 World Champion, Evie Richards. Always smiling, always happy. The white gloves are on. She's ready for this one. She was looking very focused. She went out in the wettest weather that we had for practice and was still smiling basically the entire way round. Next up, Alessandra Keller. Well, it's going to be very interesting to see. She will desperately want to take away a gold medal here today. Keller, the 2022 silver medalist from Leger, a rider who really is a bit of a rider who comes good when he gets to the big days. We will see. Well, there's no bigger day than the Olympics in lots of riders' minds, and we're going to see what Jenny Rissveds can do on a roll with some serious momentum. Rissved's definitely a rider who I think could excel on this course. We'll see what she can do up against the rider. The last rider to be drawn to the grid, it is Sammy Maxwell. Maxwell, one of the riders who seems to have fun no matter what happens. A real character, the fist bump there with Richards, as you said, Emma, there. Very much the case. Friends before and after, but come the moment when we get that countdown, they're going to be battling. Now, just taking a little bit of a look further down, Puck Peterson cannot be discounted from this. She's come off the back of the Women's Tour de France. She's a rider who can really excel on the short track as well.
Yeah, 3 World Cup wins for Peterson in the short track this season. It's going to be interesting to see how well she goes.
And she's got a lot on her plate, mixing up so many. Don't discount the Swiss rider Linda Indigan, another rider who goes really well on the short track. Will it be a course that suits? It's going to depend if she can move her way up through this race field. All these riders with battles from Isla Shaw to Chiara Chiocchi, Sevilla Blunt, definitely a rider. I'm interested to see how she goes. And don't forget Gwendolyn Gibson, a medalist in 2022 here as well. We're getting ready to go into countdown. They're still smiling faces with 30 seconds to go here at the Women's Elite Short Track World Championship for 2025.
A start within the next 15 seconds. Ladies, watch the lights.
The lights go green. The women's cross-country short track is away for 2025.
And Sina Fry quickly moving up here, but you can see the kick off that line critical here, and a real battle as the riders are spread out and across the course. Good move though by Jen Jackson down the centre to take the lead onto the bridge and out away onto the other side of the river here in Zermatt at the 2025 Short Track World Championships here. And you can see Stiga has already moved up in front of Jackson on that far section. Of course, Ridsvet's on our left, the riders right, and Richard's just been squeezed back there, the jam in the sandwich as the pressure goes on. Some real movers and shakers on the way through.
Great start from Isla Short as well there in the GB kit, just going round the outside into the single track.
This is going to be critical. This pinch point here, Jenny Risver's up to the front of the race, then Stiga being followed by Jackson as they go through Fry not far away. And there is a profusion of Swiss jerseys up there. I think good start by Neff as well, right up in the mix here. Keller is in there as well as they take that right-hand turn. This is a drop down onto the blacktop stuff with a faster run down in towards the line here. And I think this, for me, is where you've got to build on that momentum. Great ride here by our Brazilian rider who's moved right the way up, and Puck Peters here
a little way
moment.
Back.
She is a little way back, and I think that the Brazilian rider is Karen Fernandez Olimpio, who is pushed away up into the front of that pack. Great riding by her as they go up onto the bank for the first time, carrying the momentum, carrying the speed, getting the traction key here, not letting those gaps go. Fly on the left-hand side, really digging in deep, but it's going to be Neff who leads them into the rock garden. Stiga on the wheel.
Well, both lines of the rock garden in use at the moment, and you can see the two lines brilliantly in shot as we see Petersay just coming down, falling back away somewhat from the leading group.
And the conditions have changed. I saw her out on the course on practice, and having those tyres changed at the top of the rock garden, the pressure's being changed because she wasn't happy with the level of grip. And maybe that she's still got to get really find her feet on here. She's got the power and the pace to get back to the front of this race, but she can't let the gap go much more than it is at the moment.
No.
One lap done.
Laura Stiga leading them through, Jenny Risveds in 2, Jennifer Jackson in 3, Linda Indegan. Oh, you said Linda Indegan will go well here, Matt. She's in 4, Yolanda Neff in 5, Evie Richards in 6, Sina Fry in 7th, Alessandra Keller in 8th, Karen Fernandez Olimpio in 9th, and Puck Petersay coming through in 10th.
Oh, just
She's
behind
off the
Sevilla.
gap, though.
She is off. It's the gap that's there, isn't it? It's about 4 seconds by my counting, but he's only a rough time check. And in fact, it's not 4 seconds anymore. Sevilla Blunt right on the heels here, and Keller also not far off the pace there. Nicole Keller, the rider, just making a move up on the inside of that group as they take a look behind, and long look from Risveds there. Put the pressure on, takes a look, but now has the chance to take a breather because nobody's going to come around on that short section.
And it's a really interesting move, isn't it? Push hard into the corner, goes through into the single track at front, and then take a small break, take a little rest, and let everybody settle behind.
So the riders coming down into the descent here. It's very interesting to see if they are going to be able to hold their position as they come down the black stuff up onto the climb, and they're then going to be able to go down into that rock garden in position. And Petersay with work to do here, but you can never discount it. The key moment is going through up into the finish line. No spoilers, you do need to watch the under-23s. 2 very different races, one in very different ways, and yet this course produces surprise after surprise. And I have to say here, the Swiss team on home turf, well, we've got hundreds and hundreds of school kids as well as mountain biking, ardent mountain biking fans here looking on, cheering on the riders. And the Swiss team are packing out this top 10 at the moment.
Well, I'll tell you something, they're very happy to have Jenny Risveds leading this out and leaving her out front.
They are now. Stiga is here for Austria in the mix. She comes up, but she's at the back of this group at the moment. Just got to work her way up now. Taking a look, Risveds comes through. Risveds going to lead them through here. Immediately behind her, Keller in here for Switzerland.
Yeah.
You've got Neff for Switzerland, Fry for Switzerland, and Indegan as well. The rest of the riders, well, Sweden represented by Jenny Risveds. We're just going to take a little bit of a look back. Looks like all slide out on the tarmac. And that is the problem here. It is It's not greasy underneath, but you go in with too much speed, you're going to know about this, and this is where the rider's well avoided there. The Polish rider, incredible skills there, leaning on the fencing. Mountain biking is one of those sports where coming into contact with the ground is relatively inevitable at some point, because when you are racing for a championship, you're going to push to the limit. One rider who always looks to be looking like they're pushing to the limit, Keller there, but a nice move by Evie Richards, the defending champion from Great Britain, up the inside there. Keller left the door open and Evie Richards just went, thank you very much, I'll have that.
Well,
that's mine.
She takes them through the single track this time, but Keller is glued to her wheel, pretty much how she was glued to Rysved's wheel last lap.
Maxwell looking very focused just at the back of this group. Certainly a rider who knows how to pace the race. Don't go too hard too soon. We're on lap 3 of 9 laps here today for the elite women at the 2025 Mountain Bike World Championships, the women's elite short track race. The defending champion from 2024 from Pell Arinsel, Evie Richards on the front as they come diving down ominously. But Peterson starting to make her way up and on the move through here.
Yeah, so 3
She's
riders.
seen that risk, hasn't she?
Yep, there's a risk. She's closing the gap down, and I love watching Peterson race. I really, really do. She always strikes me. Well, she's such a character. She's always so happy, and whenever you see her race and ride, it's just a joy to watch.
Well, just watching you go up over the top there, getting into a fourth wheel there, just battling though. You can see the rider from the United States of America just starting to push her way up, and that is going to be Sevilla Blanc, if I'm not much mistaken. Long distance shot across from the back of the commentary box as we look out the back, as well as try and look at the screen at the front simultaneously here for the best view of the riders down that rock garden on to the straight. So this is lap 3 complete, third of the race distance done, led over by the defending champion.
That was a nice look over the shoulder. How many riders have come with me?
Well, the answer is too many. It's really straightforward. Way too many. That is not going to be a selection that necessarily is going to stick, particularly with riders further back like Maxwell. So just watching these riders on this rock garden, on that descent, it's such a critical part of the course here. You've got to make sure that you keep it rubber side down on that descent. Caroline Bowie there nicely focused on the way down the bike. Let the bike do that hard work. Well, she'll have to get on the pedals on this climb as Rysved makes a move now. She wants the inside. Sevilla Blanc on a wheel. Keller on the outside here. Jen Jackson holding position nicely in 5th wheel at the moment. Richards down into 4th from the lead. And Peterson, after making her way up to the leaders, maybe just getting a bit of a breather here. And if the pace goes off, do not discount Maxwell. She's coming onto this group as well.
She is. So Maxwell is part and parcel of the group, closing it down. We've got 12 riders in the leading group. And then on the climb section on this course, those gaps really are starting to close down, and riders using that to get back into contention. It will mean strategically, though, as we come to the latter half of this race, that whoever goes round that right-hand corner at the top of that climb puts themselves in a very strong position.
And it's very difficult, isn't it, to go over the top, dive down, and then try and make some moves on those last sections. Of course, realistically, if you don't go past on the climb, on this climb, you are not going to get past until you go into the finishing straight, unless you do something incredibly special.
And I think the stretch on this group, and the fact that we've almost got multiple groups having formed from that significant size group on the climb, it shows you exactly what could happen or can happen through that single track section. You've just got to put the power down on the front and start to stretch it away, rather than sit up and use it as recovery.
And these great slow-mo shots as these riders make this descent down, just following Sevilla Blanc here, trying to keep in touch. Rysved's bike handling is always superb. She's never demonstrative about it. There's no showboating, but she just nails it time and time again. And you know, she's not necessarily a rider known for any particular strength or weakness in my eyes. I see her just as having...
She's an all-round package.
Yeah, she's got the whole toolbox available to her, whether that's climbing, descending, and she just needs it to gel right. leading group on the way through Kiyotaki at the back of Henderson there. First 15 riders separated by 10 seconds. Then a gap back to Boehm at the moment with Urban and Gibson chasing. But they're now, I think, going to be out of contention, certainly for a medal. The winner is surely going to come from those leading riders on the screen as they come up on to this climb. Risford's out the saddle now. Big kick from Alexandra Keller. She's got the inside line here. Jen Jackson moving up on the outside of Richards. Jackson's going to go in front of Richards. Big squeeze going on here, and Peterson now sitting back. And for me, this is now about, it's not who's on the front doing the work, it's about who is recovering as we go into this stage of the race. Who is saving that energy, because there is a limited amount of time when you can go in that red zone.
Well, there's also a limited amount of time so you can chase back on. And as the gaps start to increase as we get towards the latter few laps here, the chase back on takes matches.
Burn too many,
Yeah.
you're in trouble.
No one left.
Well, you're not going to have a campfire to sing around at the end to celebrate your win, are you? If you burn them all and you don't get to the top spot, we're going to see who's going to be singing the national anthem on that podium, on that stage, and who is going to be languishing and watching as a massive smash on the front of the race here. We're just seeing riders down. That looks like Stinger down on the floor. So is Fry here. A massive stack as they came around that left-hand turn. They slid out on the tarmac. They've gone in, and this has totally changed the shape of the racing here. We have gone from a huge pack of riders, potentially 15 in contention. It's not anymore, and there was a long look over the shoulder there by Keller. So at the moment it looks to me like we've got Keller, we've got Risved, we've got well, it's going to be Jen Jackson in there, I think, and we've also got Evie Richards. They're your four leading riders. Then a gap back and behind, and there's a massive look over the shoulder there. And so these riders come in through. We're just going to get confirmation, because we did have Ronja Bloschlinger making her way back up again, and getting back on that bike is going to be critical. So it is Keller, Risved, Jackson and Richards, and Ronja Bloschlinger is the rider who is starting to make ground here with Sammy Maxwell. They managed to stay clear of too much delay, but look at the damage that's done, because these riders now coming back, and riders who are right in contention 15, 16 seconds down at a critical stage of the racing.
Well, 3 laps to go now for the Women's 2025 UCI Mountain Bike World Championships. This is the cross-country short track. 4 riders clear, 1 rider chasing, and the push is coming from Keller as she comes up and round. They all want the first line into this section.
And it's going to be Jen Jackson who takes that. A look on the inside from Keller. The 4 leading riders, the 2 just mentioned, along with Risved, along with Richards. 4 leaders. There's 3 medals at stake, 1 title to take away. And we've just seen one of the riders who had a chance of doing the double being eliminated there. Cena Fry, I think he's not going to come back from that and make her way up into contention. Our riders will be getting the best of care. The medics, the teams around here, if anybody needs them, are absolutely superb. As these screw come down now, they're going to take this pretty circumspect aspect. This is that left-hand turn, the sweep out. You can see that dry line, but when it's crowded, you're going to go from dry to wet. And although it's not particularly greasy, there is a metal grate just as you run into that section with the red on either side that can just be enough to unweight that wheel and just take you out.
And as weather conditions change, course conditions change, and you need to ride to them.
Well, the chase is coming on here, and Bloschlinger's really got to make a move up to this group. She can't afford to be chasing for too long here. Sammy Maxwell, the nearest rider behind, but surely these 4 now are going to take advantage of this. This is mountain bike racing. This is not going for a little bit of a pot around the park, and look at the push that's coming on the front here. This is a massive move by Jen Jackson, because she's opened up early here. She doesn't want this to come to a sprint. I think she's going to want to drag strip this out and really put the pressure. She knows they've been trying, and Richards hasn't got a response. Look at Keller go. Keller ignites the afterburners, goes round Richards, and Richards has to respond. Both riders have been doing the work, but it's Jackson who goes through with Risved's on the wheel, and it's 2 seconds a gap, which sounds next to nothing, but on a course like this, it's absolutely critical.
It is indeed, and Jackson really now we're coming into the latter stages of the race. It's time to go, and Jackson really driving that as they came into the arena this time.
And the skills on that downhill, so critical. The work has been done though. The gap has been closed down by Keller. It looks like Richards could just about get back in touch on this climb here. Rizved's on the front, not letting the pace go off. And Jackson, after putting in that fantastic descent now on this long climb, she continued to push through the line out the other side of it. This is going to be key. Rizved's really is working. She knows she's dropped two of the riders here. She really wants to put the pressure on. And look at this. The defending champion now in fourth place has work to do to get a medal. Rizved and Keller are on a charge. Rizved with a win in the last round of the short track and the full Olympic distance. Came into this with some serious form. Looked super focused. We saw her coming through the village earlier on today when we first got down on site. And my goodness me, you could have cut the forest down around the outsides with the laser beam focused stare she had. It was really into the distance.
Well, let's not forget Keller is on home soil. She took the win in the short track at Palaransol at round 6. She was second to Rizved's in round 7. She too is coming on to form at absolutely perfect time. As I tell you something, Evie Richards has closed the gap back down.
And they're going to come into this descent. A quick drop of the seat pin, that drop of pin, a push down, very deliberate move. Different lines being taken here by Keller. Great camera shot. And look across from Rizved. Oh, you're still with me on the way down that slope. That is composure. Nail the descent. Look across at Keller, who comes down. Well, lap 7 of 9 is complete. The leading group is reduced down to 3 riders, with the 4th rider chasing on at the moment is Jackson, who had put in a gap the previous descent. She's used that momentum through this section to get on the wheels, but this is now key. We are running out of time to make a decisive move to break this down to 3. None of these riders will want it to go to a sprint. They would dearly love to break clear. It's when do they choose to make the move, and if they all do it at the same time, then we're going to see a real fight for position.
Well, we are indeed. 4 riders clear, 2 laps to go. It's Keller, Rizved, Richards and Jackson. The gap back to the group behind, well, the chase behind, 14 seconds to Bloschlinger from Switzerland, and then 20 seconds to Henderson, Maxwell, Koller, Blunk, Indegrand. Petersay now further back.
So here we go, Keller with the charge up the hill, with the push. Rizved goes with it. They're proving to be the 2 strongest riders on that climb. How many times can Jackson chase back on again? How many times can Rizved push? How many times can she stay with Keller? Keller pushing up there. Rizved goes. Richards is chasing again here. She knows the danger of letting that gap go, but you can't discount the riders behind. Whilst they may not be the strongest, you just need to get your timing right. And there's still time for riders who put too much effort in here to fade, and somebody to recover from an earlier effort and come back right at the end of this race. So Keller leads down there, outside foot down, taking it pretty quick. And look, that problem's for Richards. Richards got an issue. Is that a back punch? It is. Oh no, Richards has lost that rear tyre that's blown out by the look of it. I think she's lost all pressure in there. She's a long, long way from the pit. It's pretty much just after it. And I think that's going to take it down to 3 riders. And we'll see if Richards continues to lose time. She's not going to have grip. She's got the rock garden to do. And that is a disaster for the defending champion. At the moment, Jen Jackson has lost ground as they come down here. Keller throwing caution to the wind on the descent. She takes the right-hand line for the riders, the inside line on the course. Rizved on the outside takes the other side. Well-matched riders. 1 more lap of this course to go. 2 leaders. If they hesitate, it'll become 3, because Jackson, the face of Jackson, says, I've not given up yet.
No, she hasn't. She's sitting in 3rd place, 4 seconds back. And it is Ronja Bloschlinger from Switzerland who is closing down as well. But the gap, I think, is too big, because I think Keller and Rizved are absolutely, well, they both want the World Championship title.
And you can see here, Richards with that foot out, the back wheel is just sliding around. It's weight down. There wasn't a sign as she went over the top, but there are 1 or 2 really big rocks on the single track. Now, these riders need to avoid it. It's the last lap. This is the last time up this section after the pit. The big kick is key here. And you can see Keller at the moment with Jelly. Rizved's on a wheel. Alexander Keller leads up here. Rizved is looking pretty composed at the moment, just turning that big gear over. Jackson losing ground. Jackson, I think surely he's going to be in with a chance of a medal. It should be a bronze medal, but don't say anything is done to the line. This is mountain bike, and this is what we love about it. Keller now on the front. What has Rizved's got to answer Keller?
So Keller pushing now. She's pushing for the line. She's pushing for the World Championship title here in Zermatt in Switzerland. Jenny Rizved's desperate to close that gap down and get back on the wheel. But Keller, this is the move.
It is the move, and she's got the gap. What can Rizvet do? She's going to have to roll on. She's got to get the charge right. Is she looking to pop the Swiss woman on the climb with the momentum? Here comes Rizvet. Here comes Keller. Keller carries the momentum, straight lines it between that chicane. Starts to slide wide. Now comes Rizvet. Rizvet makes a move up. She's going to be on the wheel going into the rock garden. It's going to come down to who wants this the most. Keller's mouth is open so wide. She's sucking in the oxygen. She's got to keep it controlled. She's on the limit here. She's got the gap. Is it going to be a home win? Is she going to take away the title? Here she comes. One more berm to go.
One more berm to go, and Alessandra Keller comes round. It's the Women's Elite Cross Country Short Track for 2025. And Alessandra Keller takes the win. Your world champion for 2025 in the cross country short track, Alessandra Keller.
Taking away the silver medal, a second place here for Jenny Rizvet, and it's going to be a fantastic result here. You can see what it means to Jackson as she goes over the line. The Canadian is going to take away the bronze medal, taking away third place. Keller with the win, Rizvet in second, Jackson in third. Loschling is going to take fourth with Maxwell in fifth. Blanc will take away sixth place here today. The chase behind coming from Koller, I think Nicole Koller comes over the line, is indeed taking seventh position. Henderson will take an eighth place here today. Behind Linda Indegand inside that top 10. It's going to be a ninth place, and Puck Peterson will round out the top 10 here. She's got a gap to the fight back for 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th, but oh my goodness, Alessandra Keller, she wanted that so badly. Yolanda Neff in a final sprint in the run to the line with Kelsey Urban there. Immediately behind, I think that was Isla Short coming in through, and this is what it means. World champion for 2025. The Swiss thought it was all over when they had the teammates laid across the floor, and now Alessandra Keller takes away the win in an action-packed, frantic race. Rizvet is on the floor. It's not to be today, not her race to take the top spot, but still a medal. And Jenny Rizvet, well, that season will continue. Great riding by Nicole Koller to come in through. She takes away seventh place. The Swiss are taking away such great results here today.
It was just a fantastic race.
And that's exactly what we want to see from our riders now. Evie Rich is absolutely distraught climbing off the bike. Rich not finishing the race. She climbed off at the earlier stage with that bike tyre, and will be absolutely gutted that she's not going to take that title on which she wore the jersey with pride and in style, but not hers today. And the congratulations continue here in Switzerland, in Valais, in Zermatt. A win here today. The world champion who did it in style, Alessandra Keller, punches the air in delight as she came across. A well-deserved win as well. She fought for that each and every time up the climb into the single track. She put the throttle to the floor. She opened up the gas. She really continued to push all the way in, and the result, a world title. What a win for the Swiss woman, and well deserved after what has been a really good season. We're going to see, I'm sure, her go forwards with that renewed vigour, moving onwards in the World Cup. Great scenes here today, and the Swiss team, well, rewarded with a gold medal here today after all of that effort.
Alessandra Keller, ein wahres Vorbild im Mountainbikesport. In allen Belangen Vorbild für den Nachwuchs und Vorbild mit ihrer Persönlichkeit.
Well, the Swiss team very heavily involved with the race organisation as well as with the race team preparation. The Swiss flags lining the side of the course, so will be absolutely overjoyed by that race result, with the win going to Keller. Keller's moves on that climb, putting herself in position, absolutely instrumental, staying out of trouble at the key moments as well. So key in mountain biking. Put herself into that leading group of 4 riders and showed not only was she the strongest, she was prepared to throw everything into that outside line. She took it into that finishing straight, and there was nobody going to touch the Swiss world champion here in Zermatt.
Alessandra Keller, world champion in the short track for 2025 at home in Switzerland. It can't get much better than that.
Honestly, can't get much better. World champs at home. Last time I experienced it was in Lenzerheide, which was amazing, and I was injured this winter, so that was always in my mind, to be back for world champs, to be in a perfect shape, and that actually happened. And I mean, short track was one of the big goals, and to execute it and get world champion here is crazy, amazing.
Well, that race in the final few laps between you and Jenny Rissveds, the two of you continuing to pull away. Just talk us through what went through your mind. Did you know you were going to win that?
No, I didn't know. I mean, my only thoughts were just ride and ride and ride. And Jenny was so strong. I mean, we also had a big battle in Leger last weekend, and yeah, I knew she can set a pretty hard attack, and I try to get rid basically of the other two. So it will be a battle between us, and I felt like I'm really strong in the uphill, and yeah, I just went and tried. So I didn't know, and my goal was to not look back at all. So then I just went, and it's amazing. Nothing else to say.
Well, congratulations. Absolutely brilliant. And please enjoy the podium ceremony later today.
I will, thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, brilliant to hear from her, overturning the result from the previous round of the World Cup, taking top spot ahead of Jenny Rissveds this time around. At this time, there's a rainbow jersey at stake, and that is what it meant to Alessandra Keller. You could see the smile on her face. That's not going to stop, I'm sure. The short track here today being an action-packed race full of superstar riders as always in the mountain bike. Great racing, great riding. 1 or 2 riders not making it to the end of the race. Bitter disappointment after being in the race all the way through for the defending champion. A great ride all the way through by Jennifer Jackson, taking away 3rd place, taking the bronze medal behind Rissved's silver and Keller's gold. Behind Jackson, Bloschlinger, Maxwell rounding out the top 5 with Blunk, Collar, Henderson, Indigand and Petersey. Rounding out the top 10, Petersey delayed on the way through, as many riders were, by that big slide on the tarmac that took many out of contention. So from the word go, Jen Jackson showed she meant business. Cena Fry right in the mix, but it was Jackson who led out on the early stages of the race. The big tight left-hand turn and the shouts going out about a slide and an injury. Then Steger along with Fry, the riders on the floor. Cena Fry, the very first winner of the women's elite short track race back in Val di Sole in 2021. They're no longer part of the race, and it was left to 4 riders to battle it out for 3 medals. Keller and Rissveds, the strongest on the climbs, dispatching Jackson, dispatching Richards. Richards with a puncture though over the top of the single track, losing air in that tyre, unable to finish the race. It meant as we came into the finale, it was about what could Rissveds do against a rider who has made this her mission. Rissveds knew she was beaten, Keller knew she was champion, punched the air in delight, and the Swiss take a home win. Well, an astounding race in the Women's Championship here today. The Women's Elite Championship, the 3rd of 4 short track races on this brilliant course here in Zermatt. A big up to all of those course designers and the crew who've been working hard on this, just adjusting it, tweaking it, having the world's best riders coming to a new venue and really testing it out. It's always a nervous moment for them, but they have delivered and some here today. So have our crowds in underneath the shadow of the Matterhorn here, nestled in the heart of the valley, in the valley region. We are going to be taking a very short break. We will be back with the men's elite short track race, but time for us to leave you with some of the fantastic images. Make sure that you catch up with all of the action on social media. Hashtag Valley 2025. It's at UCI_cycling. If you are going on to social media for the UCI, the governing body of cycle sport. And don't forget, catch up with all of the race action to come and where to see our riders at www.valley2025.ch. I'll be back with Emma for the last race for the men's elite. Until then, we'll see you soon. Goodbye.